Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 5 of the Beginner Starter Series. We're starting off today by upgrading some of our base and map room pedestal. Now I'm kind of anxious to get back up north and start getting some star metal, so let's jump right into it. Alright, here's a quick look on the map to where we are actually headed. This is the Skyfall Ridge area. Now we're up here with our Berserker looking around for some star metal, and so far we have not found any. So we'll probably go to the other side of this ridge just to get some black ice. Now for those that don't know, the darker black colored ice is your black ice, and the lighter transparent ice is just your regular ice. So we're just going to harvest as much of the black ice as we can, so we'll be able to use that for various things back at our base. Now before we leave this area, I wanted to introduce you to somebody, so you can just kind of scale down the side of the wall right next to where the black ice spawns. And you'll find this guy here. He is the outcast. He's big, he's blue, he's ugly, but he's friendly. Now you can talk to him, and he will teach you the Ymir religion.
By the gods of ice and snow, a new dream approaches. Hello, little friend. You are probably not real. I offer you welcome and polite palaver. You are exiled. As am I, philosopher giant son. I have seen.
And I'll show you a spot on the map here where he's located. It's just right off to the northwest a little of the Skyfall Ridge. Alright, so far we haven't found any star metal. We do have some black ice though, so we're gonna work our way back to our base. However, on our way back to our base, we came across Stargazer's Ridge, and look who we found here. We found a Dalinsia Snowhunter. You know what that means? We're gonna thunk her on the head and put her on our wheel. Alright, so back at our base, we've been doing a lot of farming, doing a lot of upgrading. We've got the whole map room pedestal upgraded. I even added another row of ceiling tiles to it with a fence around it just for looks. And we've got some upgrades done on the base. Still have a ways to go, but we're getting there. Now while farming some more, we came back through Sephiroth City and we found this guy here. He's another named blacksmith. So that means we could put him on our blacksmith bench and then move Anora Steelfingers over to the tinkerer's table, because on there she'll be able to make legendary weapon repair kits. So a while has passed now and it was time to come up and get our Dalinsia off the wheel. And looking at her stats, she's got some pretty decent growth chances in all of the different categories. So I think she's going to turn out to be a really good thrall. So since we're in the area, we came back up here to Starfall Ridge to see if any star metal was around. But unfortunately, there was still no star metal here. So it was time to maybe head back to the base. Now on the way back through, we stopped by Stargazer Ridge to see what kind of trouble we could get into here. And we ended up just killing the couple of people that were here and looting the chest that they guard. Now while we were looting the chest, the sky lit up and look at what came down. Beautiful star metal from the heavens. So yeah, finally it's time to go get some star metal. Now for those of you that have not seen star metal yet, you can tell it easily by smoke that rises up off of the nodes. When you see the smoke rising up, you know you found a star metal node. And you can't just start whacking away with a pickaxe on it until you break the hardened outer shell off of it. Now I've found the easiest way to do it is with explosive arrows, which I think you get at around level 39. You can use demon fire orbs and oil orbs together to break the hardened shell off, but I think the explosive arrows are just a lot easier and a whole lot less weight to carry around. Now once you break the hardened shell off, you can start harvesting the star metal with your pickaxe. So we're going to harvest this, then we're going to search around, see if we can find a couple more of them here. Like right up ahead here, you can see the smoke rising in the distance, so you know there's another star metal ore that has fallen here. So same thing, we'll crack it open with an explosive arrow and then harvest it. And we found one more up on the side of this ridge here. Now sometimes these can be a little difficult to get to, but I found it's easier if you first get them cracked open and then slide down the side of the ridge and land on top of the star metal ore. So now that both of our inventories are full of star metal, we're going to head back to the base here. And this is how you turn your star metal ore into star metal bars, by putting it in your furnace and then adding black ice to it. You can also make hardened steel by adding black ice and brimstone with your steel to make your hardened steel. Now another area to possibly find black ice is right up here at Islet Lake. But I've got to tell you, this is a rough place up here. Now there's an area in the middle of the lake where you'll find some drowned ghosts, and when you see the drowned ghosts, this chest will pop up that you can loot. It's usually mediocre loot in there, but I just thought I'd point it out to you. So while we're in the area, I thought maybe we'd kill a mastodon, because I'd kind of like to have a big mastodon trophy head to hang on our base. They're pretty cool looking and kind of a status symbol, just like maybe having a dragon head hanging on your base. Now while fighting this big thing, I kept hearing some growling, so I looked back. To my surprise, there's two saber-tooths right there. And remember, I always say no matter where you go, take a bedroll with you. Well, I didn't this time. And I can't die here. This will be bad. No, get away, get away. And we're running out of stamina here pretty quick too. So I think the best thing to do is maybe find a tree to climb up and hopefully lose their aggro. Alright, now that I'm up this tree, I'm starting to hear wolves. So I'm thinking maybe the wolves have the aggro of the saber-tooths. But I'm wondering where my thrall is. And she's right in the middle of everything. So instead of fighting them and dying, I'm going to try running away from everything and hopefully get the thrall to teleport back to me. Maybe if we finish fighting this mastodon, it'll get her to teleport right back to me before she gets her face ripped off by wolves and saber-toothed lions. Alright, so luckily that idea worked out pretty good. Now the mastodon is dead, and let's see if we get a head. Yes, there it is. We have our mammoth head that we can make a trophy of. So I thought while we were this far north already, we'd keep going north and maybe try to make it up to the Frost Giant Temple. And did I forget to tell you this area is quite bad because of all of the saber-toothed lions around here? I mean, really, everywhere we look, there's saber-toothed lions trying to rip our faces off. So I managed to outrun all the saber-toothed lions and shimmy down the side of this cliff face just to come face to face with the Elk King that also wanted to rearrange my face. But fighting an Elk King is easy compared to those saber-tooths. So now that we've got them killed, we're going to harvest them up, and look at that. We have another trophy head that we can put on our base. And we completed another journey step, obtained the head of a king. While fighting the Elk King, I noticed this frost giant camp up here. So I thought maybe we'd try our luck at taking a few of them down. Now they're not too tough, and you can take them down fairly easy, especially if you stack some bleed on them and then hit them with your sword or your axe. If you let your thrall get their aggro and then just come up behind them, you can kill them off pretty easy, but you don't want to get hit by them, because when you get hit by them, they put cold snap on you, and that puts you into instant frostbite and starts eating away at your health bar pretty quickly. Now these guys do drop some items. It's pretty random, ordinary stuff, nothing special, and you can also harvest their bodies for thick hide and some meat. You can always go into their camp also. There is a chest in here that you can loot, and it's mostly just your random basic items in there. So we tried to push farther north, but due to our armor not having very good cold protection, we started getting frostbite, so it was time to turn around, head back. But I do have a little bit of a plan here. I think we'll stop at the mounds and kill off a few people, try to get some better armor for our Dalinsia, and then we'll head down to the Dregs and try to defeat the boss inside the Dregs so that we can learn the epic reptilian armor, which has some really good cold protection on it. I do want to point out though, when we got to this area here, started killing off some of the people here, I noticed a familiar face in this crowd. And sure enough, there's another Dalinsia here. So you know what that means. Conquer on the head and put her on the wheel. Alright, we're back at our base now, and I've gathered up a couple of things before we head over to the Dregs, and that was about a dozen arrows. Nothing special, I just grabbed some iron head arrows, and we'll need a shield of some type. Doesn't have to be anything special, it could be a wood shield or anything. You're only going to need it just for a little bit in here. Now you can drop down around the side and run down in here. I like to just shimmy down the front of it. Kind of helps avoid a lot of the NPCs through here. Although you do need at least one of them to follow you in here. And once you get one to follow you in, well, she kind of fell through the floor. You have to kill one of them on top of this circular area. And once you kill them, this door will open up for you. And this is how you get down into the Dregs. Just simply run down the stairs. And it'll teleport you into the dungeon. Now right off the bat here, you can read this lore stone. And then just down at the bottom of the stairs here is another lore booklet. And then coming down all the way down the rest of the stairs, there is this pool here. You can swim down to the bottom of it and open up a chest, but it's usually just junk loot in there. You just need to keep working your way forward. There's usually only lizards in here that are gonna attack you, and they're pretty easy to kill. Now when you get a little farther forward in here, you're gonna see these ghosts here, and they're showing you how to get in deeper to the dungeon. Just walk up to this door, press your action key, and the door will open for you. Now I'm going to probably fly through this dungeon, but I will do a separate video on start to finish in this dungeon, how to get through it, and what you need to do to get all the way through the end. The dungeon is fairly simple to get through. It took me forever to make it through here without looking it up the first time I came through. But after your first time through, it's fairly simple. You just have to keep a watch out for those activation targets, I guess they're called, to shoot with your arrows to open the next door, or to raise the water level so you can swim across to the next platform. Now there were only 3 or 4 skeletons to fight this far back. When we get into this next section here, there's only going to be 1. Sometimes there's 2, but normally there's only 1 more skeleton to fight before you can fight the boss. You could actually run up and just start fighting the boss right away, but who wants another skeleton beating on them from behind when you can just get rid of them right off the bat? And now it's time to go up and meet the boss. Now he spits acid and he sprays acid at you. So this is where your shield is going to come in handy. I think there's a little something wrong with the animation on this, because I kept getting stuck inside of it somehow. But every time I got stuck inside of it, I never took any damage, so I think there's something with the animation here. But when he does his attack where he lays down across the floorway here, that's when you really want to start hammering them with your axe or your sword, because that's the point where you'll cause the most damage to them. And your shield does help you from taking damage when you have it raised when he does his attack. It normally only takes about 3 or 4 times of hitting him when he does his laydown attack. Alright, now that we've killed him, we can use our pickaxe to harvest them. And as soon as you kill him, the acid in this pit will drain away. Now the main thing we're after here is this red book. This teaches us the reptilian leather epic armor, amongst a couple other things. And now we just simply exit by going to one of the tubes here and pressing our action key on this gate. And that will teleport us back out of the dungeon. And this is about where you end up when you come back out of the dungeon. Alright, back at the base we've made our reptilian armor, which is going to really help us out in the cold area. So now I think we'll head up to the Frost Temple and get lots of black ice. Now when you first get up to the Frost Temple here, before you run straight into it, you might want to come over to this totem pole here and click on it, as it'll teach you how to make totems. You can see there's other black ice deposits around here, and sometimes you'll find star metal nodes here once in a great while. What we really want is the black ice that's just inside this temple. And to get to it, we've got to take care of these first two frost giants. And remember, you can loot these guys and harvest them for thick hide, and usually you'll get some elephant hide off of them too when you harvest them. And sometimes when you loot them, they will drop some spiced meat of some type, which comes in real handy, because if these guys hit you, they put you into cold snap, which is an instant frostbite and does start eating away at your health rather quickly. Alright, time to head inside and get as much black ice as we can carry now. Now you'll find two more frost guards down here. You can either try to sneak past them by shimmying down the side of the stairway here. This time my thrall went all the way down the stairs and got the aggro of them, so we'll have to fight them. And then just to point out, there are a couple of chests right in this area that you can loot also. And while she's keeping those two frost guards busy, I'll show you right through here where there's tons of black ice in here. If you do venture in through the whole temple area here, you'll have to fight quite a few of these guards, but you'll find so much black ice that it's impossible to carry all of it out with a T3 bearer and yourself. Right across from the bottom of the steps, there's another set of stairs that lead upwards, but behind those stairs, there's another giant pile of black ice that you can harvest. Alright, now that we have our pockets full of black ice, it's time to get on out of here. Now as you're leaving here, or even when you first get here, make sure you stop by the obelisk here and attune your bracelet to it so you can fast travel up here to get more black ice anytime you want. I'll hang around this spot until it gets a little lighter so you can clearly see where the obelisk is. You can always find them just by the purple haze that kind of floats around them. Alright, back at our base we've made a set religion sepulcher. We've got a few rhinos that are done in the animal pen placed around. And we've got all of our building materials upgraded to T3, the highest tier level of building materials that you can use. And I think we're going to end this series here because we are no longer noobs. We are now above level 60 with top tier building materials. But we're not going to be totally done yet, because we still need to go around and get some better weapons, and we need to start doing dungeons now. So I'll start doing those in separate videos from this point on. And I hope some of you found this series somewhat helpful and a little entertaining. But remember, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification, because the fun's just about to begin now that we are no longer beginners. And I really want to thank all of you for all the great comments you've been leaving and all the support for this video series. And I'd love to hear any of your comments on maybe any dungeons that you'd like to see, or how to get any weapons, or any other areas that you might need some help in. So stay tuned to this channel, and remember, you guys rock.